Giving all praises to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem Kakadash. So I'm with it both ways, on the topic of debating Christians that come up to the camp and things like that. I'm with it both ways. I just wish we could all get on one accord and choose what we gonna do, as a unit. You know what I mean? As brothers. So if we gonna debate Christians when they come up to the camp, like Vocab Malone and them, then let's take it to them. You know what I mean? But if we gonna be like, all right, well then, pretty much like fuck it. If they come up, don't we done dealing with them? I get that too because it's like just like take Vocab Malone for example. We've been dealing with him, not me personally, but I know he's been around for at least a decade. You know what I mean? I done had my own little talks with him and stuff like that. So it's like we been dealing with him, over a decade probably. You know what I mean? So he done heard all the breakdowns. He goes on his channel and he teaches what we teach, like not teach the same thing we teach, but he teaches people what we go out there and teach. He teaches Christians on how to go against or debate Hebrew Israelites. They say black Hebrew Israelites. He teaches people like what our teachings is, and how we look at things and philosophies and all that type of stuff, right? So it's clear he knows what we're gonna say. He knows the breakdowns that we have already. So what's the point in even debating him at that point? You see what I'm saying? What's the point of going back and forth when he done been told 1,000 times on every topic he's been told, no, this is what it is, this is what it is, this is how it adds up, and this is how. So you got to ask yourself and question yourself. Then what's the point of him coming to the camp? Then what do he want? Because everything we gonna say to him has already been said to him 1,000 times by other camps or other men before us. So why is he coming up to the camp if you know that? You know what I mean? So it's easy. It's clearly he's doing it for what we call today clout. He's doing it for views. He's doing it to keep his channel on fire so he can keep getting subscribers. He can keep getting views and followers and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So it's no different than like you see groups. It's no different than what you see already from certain groups. So in order to get to a place like I'm trying to give you an example, like Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao. Floyd was at the top. Manny Pacquiao wanted to get to the top, so he built his name up off being compared with Floyd and built his career up off that. You seen like in music industry, 50 Cent built his name up off Ja Rule. They was at the top. He came in the game. You know what I mean? He had to build himself up. So it's like building yourself up on the backs of other people. We see it with different camps. They attack the Christians churches a lot because they building themselves up off the fame that in the status that those Christian churches got. Then we see other camps, they'll go after the biggest camp in our in this Hebrew Israelite thing in order to build themselves up off the bigger camp. You know what I mean? So we clearly see that, and that's the same thing Vocab Malone is doing. He's using this Hebrew Israelite thing to just build himself up, build him up to be something. You see what I'm saying? So he took that on. He found an avenue, he found a niche. He ran into this thing, and he betted on it. It's like betting on stocks. You know what I mean? He was like, okay, this gonna be the next big thing. This what they doing. This is gonna be the next big thing, and I could latch on to this niche real quick and build myself up off the back of this. That's what he's doing, and that's his purpose. His purpose ain't sincerely to debate you to figure out who's right or what's the truth or not. That's not his motives. You know what I mean? So yeah. So at that point, it's pointless in even debating them at that point. You already know what we gonna say. You know what I mean? But you get young guys and stuff like that, like and just even older guys, that just they want the fame with debating with them. So they'll go into it and think that they finna prove something or do something and see if they want to test their skills. Like, and I get the whole thing, like, using him as like a little ball to pass around just to test your skills on and sharpen your skills up and stuff like that. But at the same time, it's pointless at the same time. So if we want to do that just for fun, I get that too. That's why I say like, and it's not double talking. It's just it's I could see both sides. You know what I mean? Like if a guy likes a Camaro, but a guy likes a Mustang, I could see why the guy likes a Mustang. I could see why the guy likes a Camaro. If a guy likes, I could see both sides. Sometimes things are two things could be true at one time. It don't mean that you double talking. You know what I mean? But two things can be true at one time. You know what I mean? I could be fast and I could be slow. Cause maybe one day I went out and I was slow, and then the other day I went out and I was fast. You see what I'm saying? Maybe if you I don't know, I'm just kind of rambling into that, but that's deeper. That's a little bit deep for brothers. But like I'm saying though, like me, I think honestly, like now you talking about me, what I prefer, I think there's bigger things and things that's more important. You know what I mean? What we gonna do? Sit here and debate to Christians? I done seen a lot of videos of what these Christian apologists like Vocab Malone, his crew, like what they like to debate about and the style and the way they do it. They not sincere, man. Like, what's the point? We gonna sit here and debate on them about the Trinity? We not gonna see it the same way, and it's pointless. You see what I'm saying? So we believe that most of them in their little group is not Israelites. You know what I mean? It's pointless in even debating that because they not gonna see our way. We not gonna see their way. You know what I mean? You ain't finna say nothing special and a deep breakdown that's gonna make them be like, damn, you know what? I gotta give you credit on that. You're not finna get to that. So it's like it's pointless at that time. I'm away from my Bible and kind of on the move and stuff like that. So that's why I ain't got no the precepts like that. But I could quote some. But that's just what I'm saying. Like the Bible talks about strife, teaching out of strife. But the Bible tells us what to teach and what to do. You know what I mean? Yahweh Shai said in the book of Matthew, feed the lost sheep of the house of Israel. You know what I mean? He ain't necessarily say like, hey man, go debate with them about Buddha, go debate with the Quran, go debate these. He ain't say do all that. You know what I mean? Feed the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Teach the good gospel, Isaiah 61. That's what we're doing. You see what I'm saying? And that's what we're here for. Zechariah, I believe that's chapter 8, talks about what shall every man do. Teach the truth. I'm roughly paraphrasing. Teach the truth to your neighbor. You know what I mean? Execute righteousness in your gates. That's what we need to do. Who's our neighbor? Well, the Israelites, a fellow Israelite is our neighbor. That's what we need to do. You know what I mean? So we not so much worry about um yeah, so I mean it's so you gotta see what's the bigger goal. You know what I mean? Now at the same time it doesn't mean that you can't sharpen your skills. It don't mean that it's not a sin to do that, but you got to look at the bigger goal. So I agree with that point. You know what I mean? Like we got bigger things we got to focus on than arguing with them about cuz when I came in the truth, I thought that you know, I was doing a lot of debating. Now, the positive thing out of the debating that I was doing was it sharpened me. It helped me. It made me go read more. It made me be into it more. It made me study more because I had to be sharp in order to debate and have the right precepts to paint the picture that I was trying to paint. The truth. You know what I mean? To explain the truth and make it plain upon the tables at the same time. But then, when you in the truth a little bit longer, you start to realize like you start to see a lot of things. You start to see the doctrines of man, the things that were made up, the things that just imagine all the doctrines that man made up, right? Going to a scripture, making up a doctrine from it, right? And just imagine all the brothers that were kicked out the camps, called bugged outs, called agents, which I gotta make a video on this topic too, right? Because they didn't believe that. And then imagine the day that came where that precept or that philosophy that was being taught about a certain precept came false. And the guy that was saying that he was using this precept to justify saying that this prophecy was going to happen and it didn't happen and it came false, right? Now imagine, now there's no love for the brothers that was saying, man, I ain't feeling that one. Nah, I don't think that's true. Nah, I think this is the real breakdown of this one. And all the brother and all the other people that got on them, called them bug outs, agents, kicked them out, isolated them and shit like that. They not going back after the man that made the false prophecy. They not going back and saying, "Hey, bro, you know we kicked you out, we treated you like this, and it was found out that he was false on this prophecy. Hey, Salaki, I'm sorry." No, they just keep going. Niggas see niggas don't not really sincere. They don't care. They don't really care to be wrong or right. They don't really care to be righteous or wicked. They don't care. They just want to appear to be righteous to people they look up to. You see what I'm saying? Because if you wrong, you wrong. You know, you got to go back and try to make that up. But they just keep going and say, "Oh, well, the Lord gonna forgive me. I was misled." Ooh, out the bam, that bullshit. You see what I'm saying? But yeah, you know, we got bigger things that we need to be doing. You know, we have to unify with each other. That don't mean that you're trying to unify every Israelite in the world. Nobody's saying that, but like I always say, you know, if you watch my videos, it's very plain upon the table. We get straight to this. We break it down simple. You know what I mean? Because when people try to make things more difficult and more deeper, that's because they're trying to hide something or they're trying to make up some shit. You know, we make it very simple. You know, there's millions of Israelites that's gonna be saved, right? True or false? Okay, so this shit is bigger than 200 people in a group. This shit is bigger than, which I don't want to say it that way, but this truth is bigger than 500 people in a group. It's bigger than 1,000 people in a group. It's bigger than 2,000 people in a group. It's bigger than 5,000 people in a group. You can't have a group of 5,000, even 10,000. You can't have a group of 10,000 and say, well, we got the truth. We the man of the Lord, right? And everybody else, if they be the elect, they gonna wake up to smell the coffee. Because if you don't say that, right, then that means that people don't have to teach or believe or see the things that you see in order to be saved. So now you have to, by default, you have to say, well, we got the truth. And if we got the truth, then that mean if we make up 0.01%, then the other 99% that don't have nothing to do with our camp that's gonna be saved, right? Based on the numbers, right? They will all have to wake up to believe and teach, or believe, at least believe what we believe these things mean. Because then that makes it important, which sounds insane, right? That sounds insane. You know, you can't make it seem like, well, when all hell break loose, you know, we believe that our camp, because they all say the same thing, that our camp gonna have protection from the Lord, right? Okay. Your camp maybe of 10,000 members, not even that. I guarantee not even that. But let's just say, let's give you 10,000, right? 10,000 members, right? Y'all gonna have a hedge around y'all, right? So you think the Lord gonna take out of all the millions of Israelites that He's going to save? You trying to? So that's what you call a spit in the ocean. You know, like it's not significant because out of all the millions of Israelites that's going to be saved, right? You think for some reason it's special if the Lord takes 10,000 out of, let's just say, 10 million that's going to be saved, and this 10,000 having a hedge of protection on it, but you ain't mentioning the other 9,900,000 that's gonna have a hedge of protection on them too, because obviously they have to if they got saved. So just so when you look at things, just break it down by the numbers. You know what I mean? When guys are saying things, just break it down by the numbers. Just always remember that. Look at prophecy, because prophecy always gonna reveal things. Brothers is gonna go into the Bible. They gonna make up things. They gonna make up doctrines. They gonna spin things. They gonna insert things based on, especially based on the new covenant. They going, man, that's you know, you can the new covenant. Anybody, you can go in there and make up a whole doctrine. You can make up whatever you trying to say. You can make it up by just going to the new covenant. I'm not the new covenant, but the New Testament. You know, Apostle Paul's writings, and just saying, hey, that's talking about us. That's talking about us, and insert yourself in there, and then use the scripture against somebody else. You could clearly do that, but see, this is the thing though. Like, when you look at prophecy, prophecy don't lie, right? You got to be in a spirit of prophecy, because like, and that's what brought the truth to me is when I started looking at prophecy, right? So when we go to Zechariah 13 verse 7 on down, and we learn about the 2/3. Well, if we taking that to say that 2/3, and we talking about in America, Mystery Babylon, it's going to be done away with, and 1/3 is going to be saved. Well, then if we look at the 12 tribes chart and we go blacks, Native Americans, Latinas in America, right? And we go, okay, what's 1/3 of the blacks, Latinas, Native Americans in America? What does that number look like? We ain't gonna be able to accurately get that number, but what does that number look like? Well, it looks like millions, tens of millions of people, right? Then I say, okay, so if the Lord's gonna save 30 million people, Israelites in America, why am I putting this burden on myself to try to join a group or follow a group that only has 5,000 members, 10,000 members? You see how insane that sounds based on the numbers, based on prophecy? So then it made more sense to me when I read, going back to the book of, now going to the book of Zephaniah, chapter 2. It made more sense when the Lord said, look, assemble yourselves together, because now I realize that this is bigger than a group, right? So it's no different than if you go down to, because I was just watching this on YouTube, the wars that was happening in Baton Rouge. I believe that's down there in Louisiana, Baton Rouge, and they had these different groups. They had ATK, KTA, 1200 boys. You know, it's so many different groups. So it's kind of like that same gang mentality, because it's like, if you on the outside looking at it, you be like, y'all fighting each other, killing each other, warring over really resources and women. But in order to get women, it takes resources. So really everything goes back to resources. Y'all breaking up to 1,000 different groups in the city and fighting against each other over resources. But y'all all, it's enough to go around for everybody. Y'all have all the resources that y'all need if y'all just came together as one group and unified and fought against your real enemy. You see what I'm saying? So now we see that same mentality in the truth. And then you realize what? Prophecy again. And then you say, okay, well, why are we still here? Why do we still have the curses on us? Why are we still in captivity? And then you look at who's supposed to be the leaders of us and you say, look what they're doing. This is why. They're still making the same mistake. This is bigger than 2,000 guys in the camp, 5,000 guys in the camp. This is about millions, right? Then you look at you, then you compare it and you say, okay, look, we making that same mistake. We have to come together. So the whole Israelite community, Hebrew black, or they call us Black Hebrew Israelites, we'd be more powerful if we came together as one group. But nah, we focus on separating. Every other day you see a new group. ABC boys, DCE boys, XYZ boys, this boy, this group in this city, Los Angeles, Miami, New York, different parts of New York, Detroit, Chicago, Houston. Like, it's just why can't we unify just as the Hebrew Israelites? The Lord already gave us a group name. He named us the Hebrew Israelites because we descend from Israel. The descendants of Israel. The Lord already gave it to us. Why do we got to add this extra shit on? Right? So it's keeping us, what it's called is fragmentized, right? And that's a divide and conquer strategy. So I think there's definitely agents in the Hebrew Israelite community that's keeping us separated. But I don't think that it's the people that y'all pointed to. I don't think it's the young dude that came down to camp where you know where he works at, but he's the agent. You seen the man go to work. You seen him go to work, but at the same time, he got an agent career on the side too. You see what I'm saying? I don't think it's that dude. The agents usually is, the agents don't get caught for being agents. It's not the nigga that walking in camp and he had a disagreement and boom, he got caught up with some shit because the spirit revealed them, and then boom, you caught up, and then he an agent and everybody get on him and blast him and I kick him out the camp. We caught another agent. Man, that would be a dumbass. That would be a waste of money if an agent was that stupid. The agents is the motherfuckers that's in leadership positions. Have y'all not seen Judas and the Black Messiah? That you would never know, that you would never tell, that you would never think is an agent. That's the agents the whole time. That's the setup. The agents last to the end, not get kicked out. You see what I'm saying? They the ones that's doing everything right. You see what I'm saying? So why everybody's pointing fingers at the agents is pointing fingers at other people calling them agents, but the whole time they the real agents. And y'all don't even see it. You see what I'm saying? So I mean this gets real deep, you know. But yeah, our power is unifying because it's bigger than it's not about trying to wake up all Israel or save all Israel. It's about just even prophecy and numbers. Well, we got a lot of work to do. You see what I'm saying? Yahweh Shai wasn't like, hey, look, he fed either 3,000 or 5,000. I forget off the top of my head, but he didn't say like, okay, well, I'm not feeding nobody. Just imagine if Yahweh Shai was like, I'm not feeding nobody. I'm just here to teach the truth, right? Or I'm not healing nobody. I'm just here to teach the truth, because that's what they say today. Or imagine when Yahweh Shai said, "Nah, I can't heal you unless you're a part of this group and you got to be accepted in. I can't feed you unless you're a part of this group." Imagine if Moses, when the Israelites were in captivity in Egypt, you know, and they were getting ready after the Passover to leave out of Egypt. Imagine if Moses was like, "Nah, these 2,000 members over here, this my group right here. We the we the Moses camp." You see what I'm saying? We ain't dealing with them other niggas, no other people. Imagine if Israel was fragmentized during the time of Moses. No, they had to be unified together and they came out together. Imagine Moses being like, hey, this brother right here, he ain't got a good spirit. He can't come with us. He got to stay in Egypt. He getting kicked out the camp. No, Moses wasn't focused and worried about that because he understood the numbers and the bigger pictures of things. He was like, hey, look, we the children of Israel. We gonna go. The Lord gonna save who he want to save. He gonna kill who he want to kill. We gonna leave all that resting to the Lord's hand. But as far as that, we the children of Israel. We got to come together and we got to leave. Which is the same thing today. We got to come together. The Lord gonna bring us into the wilderness where he gonna plead with us like he did in Egypt. It says that in the book of Ezekiel, right? Not keep separating ourselves into groups of 2,000 and then thinking we're powerful and then no, the Lord waiting on us. We ain't waiting on the Lord waiting on us to get our shit together, right? Like, just that's why the Native Americans got conquered because they were fragmentized. So when Esau came over as a unified front, a unified group, the U.S. Army, right? They unified. All they had to do was just take down tribe by tribe and take land by land, which is what they did. And then what it's called is called expansion. Then they expanded. Then they expanded more. And they expanded more until they had the whole fucking U.S. What we know it today. Because you had tribes fighting against tribes, and Esau come and use one tribe against another tribe or take down this tribe, right? And then the other tribe would be happy that their enemy tribe, rival tribe, just got took down. Then they'll try to trade with them and shit. Then Esau take them down, stupid. And we falling for that same stupid shit today. Oh, Esau come and take down ABC boy camp. Then the XYZ boy camp gonna be happy. I told you them niggas was wicked and that shit was not gonna last. They got infiltrated and they got took down. I told you. If it's not of the Lord, it's gonna come to the end. And then next thing you know, Esau knocking on their door and take them down. Stupid. So just ask yourself, well, how was Esau? Well, yeah, everything is by the way of the Lord, but how was Esau able to get America and take down all the tribes here? Now imagine if all the Native American tribes were one, they could be different tribes, but imagine if they were unified together though, right? Esau would have never been able to take the land of America because then they would have been confronted with a unified front. So when they attacked one tribe, that news would have went around the whole U.S. And then next time they try, because some of the Native American tribes were actually fighting Esau off, but Esau would keep coming back. They'd fight them off, win, and Esau would keep coming back until eventually they took them and won. So imagine if they had all these other groups that was coming to their defense. Like, oh hell no, Esau would have been slaughtered as soon as they got off the ships. It would have been too many of them to fight against. If they were unified, unity, you know. If we were unified, Vocab Malone wouldn't be able to. So Vocab Malone been around so long, and he been doing the work he been doing because of the fragmentization, right? Which I believe there's ages and high levels of these different groups that's keeping us separate. That's their job to do that, right? Now Vocab Malone, he could go from group to group to group and attack one by one because they're so fragmentized. So he's using, and matter of fact, in the spirit, the Lord is showing us that. That's what Vocab Malone purpose is here. Because the Lord is showing us how he's able to, how the fragmentization got us weak. Now imagine if, just take all the black Hebrew, they call us black Hebrew Israelite camps, were one together, unified together. Vocab Malone have no chance. He'd be insignificant. We'd be so much stronger. And then you gonna say, well, it's not about being strong. Well, guess what? We'll be so much stronger at spreading the truth. We'll be that much more stronger at bringing the elect in. Isn't that the objective? Don't you guys say that that's the goal? To wake the elect up? Well, you'll be much more effective at waking the elect up if we are unified. Stupid. Like what the fuck? Yeah, like, but it's not for everybody because everybody ain't that deep in studying to understand. Like you gotta understand. You gotta be able to know the Bible, teach the truth, but you gotta understand economy. You gotta understand the world, right? Because that's a part of being a watchman. How can you be a watchman if you don't understand these things? You gotta understand human behavior. You gotta understand war tactics, right? Because it says, what's that? Second Corinthians, we are not ignorant of Satan's devices. I believe it's like chapter 2, verse 11. We are not ignorant of Satan's devices. Well, if you don't understand war tactics, then you're going to be ignorant of some of Satan's devices. So you got to understand those things, man. King David understood war tactics. King Solomon understood war tactics. Judah Maccabees understood war tactics. His brother, I believe it was Simeon, and I forget some of the rest of Jonathan. I forget the rest of their names, but off the top of my head. But you got to understand war tactics, and you got to understand when they've been used against you. The divide and conquer shit, that's a war tactic. But you don't see it because you're worshiping man and you got respect of persons and you're following these men and you're not even seeing how they're keeping you divided. You're not seeing it. How they're set up to keep you divided. All you know is these men been around a long time and I love them and I believe that they're the men of the Lord and they're gonna have it. It's fear. It's out of fear. It's that these guys are gonna have protection when the Lord comes back and I wanna be good with them so I can get protected too. That's what it is, fear. When the Lord said, don't put your strength in man. But you are putting your strength in man because you say, hey, you need to get with us because we believe that we're going to have protection when the Lord come back. And if you want to have that protection, if you want to know what to do, look, let me answer this. Newsflash. There is no what to do. There's no what do I say? Like with football, they have the playbook. There's no playbook of what to do when the end comes. Well, if you want to say there is one, it's just have faith in the Lord. That's it. There's no, hey, we gonna call you, and we gonna drop off this note, right? In the mailbox, and you gotta go to the mailbox, pick the note up, and it's gonna have a secret message, right? And then you gotta hold a lighter up to the back of it, and then it's gonna have a secret, a scripted message, and it's gonna say, "Meet us in Colorado. We took over a bunker." In the mountains, in the Cheyenne Mountains. It's no, and you gotta get there, and within 2 hours you gotta get there, and then all the brothers are gonna be there, and we're gonna be there protected. No, that's not what it is, man. Cause you don't even know the day or the time. What's gonna happen is the Lord gonna come back and He gonna save and He gonna direct who He wants to direct, and that ain't gonna be based off no count. Show me in the Bible where the Lord said, hey, I'm going to save them based off of camp. I'm going to give them instructions on how to be saved based off of camp. Because it don't make sense number-wise. It don't make sense prophecy-wise when you're talking about millions of Israelites being saved. And your camp only got 5,000, 10,000 members. See what I'm saying? So you got to be able to look at things deeper. So So yeah, keeping us separate, that's a war tactic. I could see it now. I could see it. At first, I couldn't see it, but I could see it. Like when I get online and I'm just sitting back watching everything. I watch everything. I'll watch all the camps. Now, does that mean are you bugged out because you learning all these different doctrines and stuff like that? No, you got to be a watchman, right? We watching everything, right? I watch basketball. I watch sometimes football. I watch boxing. I watch camps, see what they talking about, see what's going on. Just keeping my eye open. You know what I mean? And what I see when you on the outside, when you in the inside of it, you can't see it. But when you on like the outside, but still in the inside, because we still in the truth, right? And we still will be considered one Westers, or our way of teaching will be considered that. You know, you can see the bullshit. But when you have a certain level of intelligence, you can see patterns. You could see history and apply it, and you could see the things that destroyed us in the past, and then you compare it to what's going on today, and you say the same thing's happening. Well, we know what happened with the Crips and Bloods. We understand that their leaders were friends and together at one time. We understand what happened with Biggie and Tupac, and they were friends, sleeping over at each other's house at one point in time when they could just came together. You talk about uniting the West Coast with the East Coast. That's why they were killed, because you can't have the West Coast and the East Coast unite together. That would make them too powerful in the hip hop industry, which that seems to be the most easy or the most lucrative way for black people to make money and fame. It's going into the music industry. That's why they're all trying to do that. So they had to kill them. They have to keep us separated. Same thing with Bloods and Crips. Keep them separated. Imagine how strong and powerful we would be if the Bloods and Crips were unified. When Malcolm X and Martin Luther King started to come together, they had to kill both of them. So you guys not seeing the pattern. The pattern is they could do all the bullshit they want to do. Esau's looking at that like that, but we got them because we got them divided. They're not powerful enough to do anything. And that's what the Lord was telling us. He said, look, come together. Look, matter of fact, let me give you these laws, statutes, and commandments, which is the true order of the Lord, not your camp order. The true order of the Lord is the law, statutes, commandments. And by the way, these law, statutes, commandments do what? They teach you how to come together, how to unify together. That's what the law, statutes, commandments is about. Don't kill each other. Don't steal each other. This is all about us being. You can't have the law, statutes, commandments as just an individual just by yourself. The law, statutes, commandments is about how you deal with the rest of your nation. It's laws for that. All the foreigner laws, the being clean laws, because the clean laws don't just affect you at home. It affects when you go out and you're around the next brother. See, so it's the laws has to do with us coming together and unifying as people. Now, if the biggest camp leader, two biggest camp leaders was to come together, imagine if like I say some names like IUIC, GMS, Sakari, IUSPK, HODC, Wi-Fi. I'm just naming names that I know, right? Because it's bigger camps than some of those names that I named that I probably left off, right? That's been around a lot longer too, right? Imagine if they came together as one. How powerful that would be. Now that would threaten Esau. That would threaten him. That's what he don't want to happen. Now, as long as they fighting against each other, they separated, they having split offs, break offs, people getting kicked out. Esau like, oh yeah, we got them exactly where we want them. They're still in captivity. But imagine if those came together, how more powerful and more effective of doing the Lord's work we will be. Just think about it. With that, I'm gonna say salvation to you. Let's show.